Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Slamhub Wrestling. Myself, Suprit, and this is your AEW Rampage review for November 5th, 2021. I'm joined by Abby Maniac here. What did you think about this Rampage, man? I thought it was a really good show, man, top to bottom.
Yes, I would echo your thoughts absolutely. This was a pretty good show, and there were some complaints from my side uh, regarding the main event, the build to it. We will go through it when we get to it. Otherwise, it was a pretty good show. It was live. It was from St. Louis, Missouri, and next week they are also going live. The go home show for the pay-per-view. So this was a pretty good show. The crowd was into it. It felt energetic, and yes, it was a pretty good show.
You thought it was a good crowd?
Uh, no, it felt energetic. Probably it was live. That could be one of the reasons. Previous from the previous weeks, it was taped. So probably, uh, I don't know. It could be it could be the energy that sometimes it gets you know uh, succumbed or absorbed when the show is taped, and probably also the urgency from the bookers, the owners, that when the show is taped, so probably they sometimes do not think with a sense of urgency that we have to give the people uh, you know you can say their money's worth. So they when they tape their shows, they think that we have given them their money's worth with Dynamite. They tape their Rampage post Dynamite, so they think that we have given them their money's worth with the Dynamite. They tape post Dynamite, the Rampage shows. So this was live, so we have to give a great show that they get their money's worth, and we can also tape dark elevation, whatever they are going for. So I guess it was a good show, and the crowd was into it as well.
We'll get through the entirety of this card and this show, but before that, if you're new to Slam of Wrestling, then make sure to like, share, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Check out our other content. Links provided in the description below. Go check that out as well. But Rampage here. So they kicked off with, I think this was an impromptu match. I don't think this was I think you could say this was a last minute addition. This was Bryan Danielson versus Anthony Bowens. And I don't know what was the reason to book this match other than the fact that there was something going on where the Acclaimed were talking a lot of shit regarding Bryan Danielson, and that was the entire backstory, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, and probably when I guess Bryan Danielson was making his entrance, uh, I guess Taz probably uh, alluded to some fact regarding Tony Khan and Max Caster and Anthony Bowens, that probably some shit, and to Tony Khan, and Tony Khan probably punished them, something like that. I didn't give much thought to it, but yes, absolutely. The rap which Max Caster did, that pretty much you know uh, build this heat between the two guys, and uh, moreover, if you get the mindset of the wrestling aspect only, that what they were trying to do, it is just only to uh, prepare Bryan in in his quest when he is facing a bigger superstar like Miro at Full Gear. So here also he was facing a bigger guy than him. That is Anthony Bowens, he is of a similar build. He is not of a similar stature and superstardom, but yes, he is of a similar build and physique. So uh, he just wanted to test himself, and he being Bryan, he probably wanted to you know test himself, and he wanted to you know scout that what can he do when he goes into his match with Miro, and what can't he do. uh, so probably something along those lines.
But let's get into the highlights. So Danielson made his way out to the ring first. Then comes Anthony Bowens, accompanied by Max Caster. Caster does the traditional rapier, which is approved by Mr. Tony Khan. So shout out to him. So Caster said something like Danielson loves cucumbers, and that he became famous by his wife's reality show, that he has skinny legs, something like that. And the main one, that I think there was something like Bowens will destroy careers, kind of like his father-in-law kills other wrestlers' career. Shout out to Johnny Ace, aka John Laurinaitis, people power. So that was a good one there. Max Caster continues to rule here on AEW. So this match, it was fine. Like you said, they wanted to, you could say this was a warm-up match for Danielson as he's getting Miro at the pay-per-view. And pretty good showing from Anthony Bones. Like we haven't seen much from the acclaimed, especially and Anthony Bones. I think this was a great opportunity, maybe see how good of a singles guy he is. And I thought this was some good effort from Anthony Bowens. He is a really good enough wrestler, but as we get to the end, there was some, shenanigans. Like Max Caster, was attacking Danielson with his uh, chain, basic heel tactics. But this Danielson would return the favor to Max Caster at the end. Like there was one spot where Anthony Bones was sent into Max Caster. Danielson hit a big dive, taking both the acclaimed members here. So Danielson, back in the ring, hit a big drop kick. Then he decided to stomp the hell out of Anthony Bowens and would go for the finish. That was the label lock. And that was a submission victory for Bryan Danielson. And there you go, man. Nothing much.
Yes, as you said, good match, a warm-up match, and you know Bowens looks solid on the mat with his offense, and pretty good showing. Bowens didn't you can say at in many moments we see when guys of the mid card or the undercard, they are facing guys of the main event. People, it is the mindset that they not very much in this promotion, but in many others, that they got buried, so to speak. But here, Bowens kept his cool. He was calm, collected, and he looked great. And Bryan Danielson also was competitive, and everything what they did in the ring was pretty solid. Both the guys, I would say, all the guys, three of them. Everything that you just said. The heel tactics and everything, and Bryan doing the dive, wiping out the other guy, Max Caster, and then getting the submission victory, so as to fending off the guy that he doesn't get involved in the finish, and I get the finish, I get the victory. So pretty good stuff.
Yeah, and I'm very much looking forward to the Danielson Miro match.
Same here. And
And
there was one, you know, this is, uh, there was a funny Danhausen tweet with regards to this match. He had tweeted out to, I guess, the referee of this match, Aubrey Edwards, that regarding the heel tactics, it happened during the commercial break. We have talked about it in the past as well, that the heel heat happens in the commercial break. So he had tweeted out that this Max Caster guy is attacking Bryan Danielson, uh, you know uh, you know, pay attention to him, blah blah blah. So she replied with a what in caps. So Danhausen from previously, and still, he is not contracted to officially in Ring of Honor, but he replied that you should have your uh, mobile phone at all times. When I tweet, when we or I tweet out to you, or I Twitter message you, you should reply, and you should see to it that someone is telling you that you should give attention to that. It was pretty funny.
basically, yeah, man, Aubrey should listen to Danhausen. Like Danhausen is a great
Yes,
mind, is a great businessman. Great businessman.
yes, yes.
Anyways,
He's in
man,
character.
yeah, he's a pretty great character. I'm a big fan of him. But anyways, moving on, we had this replay of what happened at Dynamite with the finish of Andrade El Idolo versus Cody Rhodes, where FTR, kind of assisted Andrade for the win. So they showed this interview that I think happened after Dynamite. So we see FTR and Andrade El Idolo, and then MJF showed up. So basically, this was a deal between the Pinnacle and Andrade. Like, I think the thing is that Andrade actually hired FTR for 2 weeks. So MJF wanted, the price for it. And Mr. Jose, assistant of Andrade, did give him a solid cash, but MJF decided to, have the double amount of money that they promised, something like that. But anyway, that was the deal. And uh, I think it was Dax Harwood that he kind of called out Park, who are the best friends who's affiliated with the Lucha Bros, Death Triangle. So he kind of took shots at Park, calling him a British bitch, something like that. So as a result of this, he has challenged Park to a match on next week's Dynamite. So that should be good.
Yes, great. Looking forward to it. And I had, somewhat alluded to this partnership in the past, and that when we got this promo, backstage, that when we saw that there was a money exchange, that we should take this with a grain of salt. They said on camera that this partnership is done and stuff like that, and I had said that we should take this with a grain of salt, because I don't think that this is over. This would be happening again, and the partnership is still alive and kicking. So it is, you can say, making for compelling programming. and it is getting the fans excited. It is getting the fans invested in multiple matches and multiple feuds and multiple storylines, uh, or you can say in one storyline involving various people. So it is great. Uh,
I Yes, I was about to say that, like, what is this thing with Cody Rhodes right now? Now FTR is getting involved in his business. It's like every week we are getting new characters, getting involved with Cody Rhodes. So what's going on here?
uh, oh, he is probably, is he, taking it voluntarily, a role of, taking it meaning the role of, quote unquote John Cena, or probably not, I don't know. I guess he is not turning heel anytime soon. It seems that way. So whatever, you know he can do to, you know get compelling storylines, and, you know whatever, the crowd will react, he will have to eat it up. There is no second question about it. He's saying that he has to, do charity work, he has to do other shit, and for that he has to stay a, good guy. So whatever, uh, streams his, you know
Let's see.
stuff, whatever. And other than that, Black, in his promo on Dynamite, he said something along the, the story of, Jesus. I'm very sorry, Julius Caesar.
Julius, not
Uh,
Jesus.
yes, I said, Julius Caesar getting assassinated. So he talked about uh, a betrayal. So I don't know if it happened on Dynamite already, or if it is happening in the near future. And if it is happening in the near future, it uh, I don't know if it is alluding to uh, that someone close of Cody Rhodes is going to betray him or something like that. What is in store? We have to wait and see. I can probably see that Arn Anderson can join the group. Uh, Andrade, FTR, other people. In the near future, we would probably see Ric Flair coming in as well, when the smoke clears with regards to his issues, and I guess Charlotte Flair as well when her contract uh, comes to an end. So let's
Maybe,
see what
maybe,
happens.
maybe we can add in a Keith Lee in that situation.
I'm sorry.
I just jokingly said maybe we can throw in a Keith Lee in that situation.
Oh.
Not in the Pinnacle,
uh,
but as a roster
yes,
member.
yes.
As a roster member. But
Yes. Why not? But probably not Killer Cross, because he has, I guess, some issues with Adam Cole. So he would not be coming anytime soon.
there you go, man. Fair enough. But uh, like I was also discussing this Cody Rhodes thing in the Dynamite review, like when FTR are getting involved and predicting what's going to happen. So Ridwan kind of pointed out that we could get MJF and Cody Rhodes again. And as we are discussing it, we got to a point where like we could see this match again. And I predicted a great scenario. I'm not going to let it out here. You'll have to watch the Dynamite review. So that's a great plug for the Dynamite review. So check that out to see what was the great scenario I booked. But moving on from this story to the next segment, this was CM Punk versus Eddie Kingston. They are finally will getting the face off that they were looking for the past week or so. We are finally getting it here on a Rampage, and boy, this lived up to its promise, man. What a great promo segment. What did you think about it?
Uh, 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 I guess it was a little too real for television. I don't know. I am probably of the minority.
In a
Uh,
in a good way or a bad way?
I don't. I guess that I am in somewhat of the middle. I don't know if it is good, if it is bad, but I am more leaning towards good because it is unscripted, it is on the fly, and it is organic. So this stuff which I just listed, I like. I do not like scripted promos which do not have substance, which do not have an edge to it. I uh, just a few weeks ago, I went out of my way and checked out a promo which is of the other promotion when the Charlotte Flair shit happened. So I went out of my way and I watched the whole promo, and the belt swap, when the belt swap was happening. So I went out of my way and I went to YouTube and I watched the promo. And when I saw the promo, uh, I had the same uh, feeling to it, that it is still scripted. Yes, agreed. I have no problem with that unless it has a substance, it has an edge, and it gets the fan invested. But the whole promo, from the time it got started, from the time it ended with Sasha Banks, all the shit that was said, it was so plain. It was, it didn't get invested. How can it get invested anyone? It, except the kids, and who are only just you know small, you know the kids. How can you get a person invested who is a teenager? How can you get them invested with this promos? It was so bland. I cannot even say. I am very sorry to anyone who is watching from WWE or their affiliate companies, but the fact, or I should say my opinion, is the same. When I saw that promo, I know that the superstars have a lot of potential, but they have to succumb to what the writers are doing, because if they do not do what the writers are doing, they would piss off those writers, and then they would complain to the management, or they would stop writing, or they would try to bury them, and blah blah blah. It is whole politics which is prevalent in every sphere of society. This bullshit, fuck this bullshit. Seriously, fuck this bullshit. And this promo of Kingston and Punk, you know, I'm in the middle because I felt that it was uncomfortable, because I don't know, probably it was uh, not very clear cut. It was in clear cut. It was in the gray. It was giving the fans the power that you choose what side you are choosing. Are you choosing Kingston? Are you choosing Punk? What are you choosing? And it was making the people and it was making each other very uncomfortable. The things that they were saying, they felt so real. It probably, uh, I don't know. I have seen in the past and what we have been conditioned to by the WWE and the other promotions and what we have seen in the past with the promos, their promos are entertaining. They build you, they get you invested in the bout which you are about to see in the future. Do you want to see the match? I guess yes. I want to see the match. The brawl which happened post match, it it had it had some heat. The lasting image of Punk was with a very animated face, very angry face, a emotional face, which we haven't seen in his recent run. He felt animated. He felt you know on mountaintop with regards to his emotion. So he is getting there. He is getting there with his groove, I guess. So this was good. This was good. It was uncomfortable, but it was good. I would lean towards good.
And like you could say that from a far distance that there's no way this is a scripted promo. Like these two were
No,
coming with the stuff on the fly.
yes, absolutely. It was
And
not scripted.
yeah, and you were saying that the crowd were a little confused on which side to choose. I think Kingston was a full blown heel here, even though there were some moments where crowd tried to get behind Kingston, but he came out as a full blown heel to me.
Hmm. Uh, let's see what is the overall uh, scenario at the pay-per-view, because many uh, experienced, many veterans of the game, they sometimes they change their game in the midst of the match because of what the crowd reaction is. uh, no, I don't know what happened during that. I do not know of the mindset. I do not know what happened. I know of the what happened, but if we go to Hogan versus The Rock,
I was
Rock
thinking
was
the
the
same
baby
thing.
face. Yes, Rock was the baby face, but the crowd in Toronto was fucking Hogan. So, but so Rock also, I guess, gave to Hogan. I guess they, in the midst of the match, they, changed their game, but they knew what the outcome is. But they changed their, game. They changed their mindset, in order to give the fans their money's worth. So that is what the veterans can do. But the people who, call the match and prepare for the match pre, you know, pre-match, so then it could be a little difficult for them. But nonetheless, we still have 1 week, and we would see, Dynamite. We would be seeing Rampage, and the pay-per-view. So we have a week. So we can very much see that what side are the fans, inclining towards. And AEW also has this mindset that no heels, baby faces. So go with the flow.
And to make this more easy, my point, I would say I would compare this to the remember that promo that Kingston did with Moxley last year to build last year's Full Gear.
Uh, I do not remember right now. If you can just, somewhat.
It was that promo I'm mentioning was, I think it happened on a go home show to Full Gear. Kingston was mentioning a lot of his personal stuff, like their friendship, their past friendship, and it was very intense. That promo war they did.
Uh-huh. I do not remember in detail. I guess I now can remember the lasting image, but I do not remember the content right now.
Yeah,
That
I'm
yes, please.
I'm getting the same vibe here. Like over there, Kingston was a
Hmm.
delusional heel. Mainly he should come off as a babyface, but he's trying to be very delusional, being very heelish. He's trying to be heelish. That's the character you could say for Eddie Kingston right now. We saw the same thing here. Like Kingston came up with some stupid reason. So you could say some stupid reason to just batter Punk here. So that was the some elements we saw in this promo as well. Like the promo was regarding an apology. Like I think CM Punk wanted an apology from Kingston, right?
Hmm.
So
Yes.
first off, like Kingston's music kit, he didn't show up, but after a while he did show up with no music, and then we got the verbal battle, you could say. And Kingston did apologize to Punk in a very sarcastic tone, and then he played the smallest violin in the world, which was hilarious. That line was hilarious. If you are SpongeBob in the past, so that was a great SpongeBob reference. And he also mentioned this line where Kingston used to look up to Punk, and the guys like similar guys like Samoa Joe, Homicide, Amazing Red. These guys, along with Punk, were part of Kingston's inspiration when he was struggling in the indie scene. And then I think he brought up something where Punk didn't believe in Kingston and questioned, is it because I was too fat? Is it because I eat a lot? Is it because I am not friends with the booker? And basically called Punk a piece of shit. Punk replied saying that, yeah, the main story is the name you mentioned, like Joe, Homicide, Danielson, Amazing Red. The thing is, you're not on those guys' level. And Punk apologized to, putting Kingston in that level because he couldn't actually make it. And that was a very ooh-ah moment for a while. And as we get to the end, Kingston actually wants a fight with Punk, and he named the date November 13th, Full Gear. Punk asked the approval of the St. Louis faithful, do you want to see this match? And the crowd went yes, yes. And he decided to end this and just walk off, but Kingston stopped him midway and said that he's going to beat him at Full Gear, and then Punk can quit and just leave for another 7 years. Punk got pissed and headbutted Kingston, and then we got the big brawl. We had officials, wrestlers, everyone coming out to separate the two, and crowd was very much into it. And what can I say, man? I said this last week. For a 2 week, 1 week build, this is good enough.
Hmm.
And Yeah, you could. I don't know if you can call this a high profile match, but it is in that level after this promo.
Hmm. Yes. And
And
they also have a week, so they can do some more to you know pile on to that, what they have done on Rampage. So it would get pretty hot if they you know if they can do a little more.
should be good, man. Should be good. I'm pretty excited for it. And for I'm actually I'm actually good with this one promo alone. I will watch this match with great excitement.
Hmm. Same here.
But moving on, we heard from Christian Cage and Christian Cage and the Jurassic Express. Like they did an interview, they talked about what they did with the Super Click, and especially to Adam Cole. So Jungle Boy who was the one who did this challenge. So we are getting a 6-man with Christian Cage and Jurassic Express. So they are facing the Super Click at Full Gear. So this will be a false count anywhere match. So there you go. This is settled. We have been talking it for weeks now. Where are they going with this? It's not going to be a tag match. It's not going to be Christian Cage versus Adam Cole. They are settling this in a 6-man, and this false count anywhere is the something fresh for this feud, you can say. So there you go.
Hmm. You it can be a little, you had you know suggested this, a trios match. So glad that is happening. And they have there was a possibility that the card would be shifted around and somewhat. So it is good that we are getting Punk versus Eddie Kingston rather than right now. There was no build for Wardlow versus Punk, so there is that. And this trios match is also good. I don't know what happens with regards to, there are two hardcore matches with
Mhm.
multiple men. So hopefully it doesn't make any one of them stale. I don't know. Hopefully they are placed on the card with ample space so that the crowd is fully entertained. That would be only the, I guess, uh, the wish for this card.
If it was to me, I wouldn't have added this match at the pay-per-view. I get it that we want to get these names on the pay-per-view, but still, I could have done this on a Dynamite.
But they have got to have those guys on the card. The super click, precisely. So they got to have that. So it is happening. And false count anywhere only makes things more interesting for both the teams. Christian Cage has been in those matches in his past in the in WWE, and Young Bucks and Adam Cole, precisely Young Bucks, have been in these matches and they have excelled and even broken the bar with regards to hardcore shit. So it would be a pretty entertaining bout.
We'll have to wait and see. But let's talk about this TBS Championship tournament. This was for the Bunny versus Red Velvet. This went for about, this one didn't even go 5 minutes. It went to about the 4-minute mark, I guess. For what they did, it was fine, and the time limit also helped in this case. Like We had Velvet charging the ring, and we got to the match. You would see Jade Cargill and Mark Sterling, who were scouting. They were sitting near ringside. So nothing much here. We see Red Velvet hitting the final slice on the bunny and got the victory. So she'll be heading and advancing in the tournament. I'll be facing Jade Cargill for the third time, I guess. So there you go. And nothing much to add.
Nothing. Decent match. When I saw Jade and his manager Smart Mark Sterling in the crowd, I was immediately sure of the outcome. That Red Velvet would be winning, and regarding Red Velvet, she, I guess, looks more solid in the ring. I guess whatever time they gave, I guess it seemed that she is she seems more more solid with regards to ending work.
Yeah. Problem is, if
And
she gets too excited, she starts botching.
possibly,
Yeah.
but in this match there was no sign of that.
Yeah.
So she's working hard in the Nightmare Factory or the Rhodes Wrestling Academy. So wherever she's training, she is doing great. So good going.
But let's get into the main event. They do the interview stuff with Mark Henry. We have Adam Cole and John Silver side by side. So Mark Henry asks like, why do you call him Bud? Something like that. Basically explained like what happened on BTE, etc., etc. So John Silver, Adam Cole, they exchanged some words, and Mark Henry went into the plug, like into the main event match. Like the talk is done. It's time for the main event, and crowd is actually getting into that stuff. So that's good to know. So this is John Silver versus Adam Cole. In the being the elite land, you could call it Johnny Hungy versus Purge. So this is where the whole Budge thing came about, from being the elite. Even the crowd was chanting Budge, Budge. We saw those small paper cutouts of Budge in the crowd. So that was it, man. And let's get to it, man. You said in the beginning you have some criticism and all. I thought the match was fine. And what's the criticism part, man? Let it out.
Criticism is first of all, uh, Adam Cole ate a chair shot on Dynamite with the chair uh, under
Concerto.
his. Yes, it was a double whammy, so to speak. So on the ramp from Christian Cage. So if it were up to me, I would have gone the old school way, and I would have wanted that they would have sold this injury for some time, just like Phoenix did with the belt shot from FTR. Chair shot of this kind, they have been sold in the past with a pretty good consequences.
Back
It
in the
was
day.
sold during, yes, back in the day, and it was sold during the match. Uh, full marks to what they did in the match. But I would have wanted little more to what happened. They could have not have had Adam Cole. They could have had Matt Jackson. They could have had Nick Jackson. facing John Silver. I don't know. Or they could have had someone else eat the chair shot.
At least,
But yes, please.
yeah, at least someone on commentary, I think it was Ricky Starks or Taz, I don't know. They said that Adam Cole is suffering from vertigo after that.
Yes. It was, I guess, Ricky Starks.
Yeah. So, and yeah, I think
And
Adam,
he, yes,
overall, in
please.
all seriousness, they kind of wanted to tell the story that he has been affected by that concerto spot. Like he's losing his balance, is not in a great place, still not 100%. So, some effort has been put to sell that spot or whatever you want to call it.
Hmm.
But shall we get to
Um,
the highlights?
uh, One more thing. It is regarding this, the build for this match. It is that John Silver is over with the crowd. It is uh, pretty evident. JR has also said it on his podcast. And unlike the guy who faced Omega on Dynamite, Allen Angels, so this match was appropriate to be had on the card on Rampage. But you know, is the promo on Dynamite to build it up, and the backstory was not, you know, I don't know, it was not pretty, substantial. It was not good, because I guess not many people across the globe would have been aware of the story. They tried explaining it through Mark Henry, through Excalibur on commentary, but it didn't, feel, that because, uh, you know, not many people are, into every stuff that is happening on being the elite now. Most of the, people are watching Dynamite, they're watching Rampage, so, and they're following your social media, so mostly they are, glued, and they are invested in that. Not much on BT, but and now, for instance, Allen Angels, you know, he hasn't been on the card of, you know, I wrote here that he hasn't been on the card of Dynamite or Rampage, and on the regular, and he is not over with the crowd as per public perception, and he is going through in a competitive match against the world champion. Does it make sense?
It doesn't. I think I kind of got the same vibe that I got that you also alluded to mainly when we covered, remember, their first bout, I guess, with Alan
Yes.
Angels and Kenny Omega during the pandemics. Same vibe here, but the feeling was different this time, I guess.
Hmm. This is only, this was only through friendship. It's only friendship. It's nothing else. And the world champion Kenny Omega is going to face Hangman Page at Full Gear. How is he even believable? at this point. You know, then also I had said a similar shit. And it doesn't seem right now that AW is investing in Allen Angels to become a bona fide superstar in the future. Right now, they are investing in other people. So, what was this? What you know, other than favoring your friend, getting him a great match, putting him over. It was his hometown of Georgia. Other than that, what 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 else? If imagine if instead of Omega, if it were Roman, for instance, how how would it look? I know that the mindset of AW is to break the established norms, the matrix, set in the industry, and pave your own uh, path, and make sure that I would recommend that your storytelling and uh, your product should supersede the egos of the superstars of your roster, and there should be open and clear communication about the same with them, because this shit just looks bad. It lowers the stock of the world champion in the eyes of the fans, in the eyes of either casual or pro wrestling fans. Even the pro wrestling fans would have thought in the back of their minds that what the hell is happening. Kenny Omega is going through a competitive match with a guy who we haven't seen performing. What is happening here?
Like I said, same criticism from the previous encounter, but the feeling was different this time. They told the story in that Dynamite match, and yeah, that was it. I get that this should have been a squash match, as he's got a big match in a week or so, but there you go, man.
And as you just, with regards to Silver and Adam Cole, great entertaining bout.
Yeah, it truly
No,
was.
yes,
And John
absolutely.
Silver, they could put John Silver in a big position when,
Yes.
in the same position like that, the four pillars is up there, but not yet.
Hmm. Yes.
You can put him in that position as well.
Hmm. And he would very well be in the future.
Yeah,
He just, you know, he would be, getting, more, you know, promos and stuff like that. Pro, you know, I would, I am not imposing my, mindset and something like that on him. What I am just expressing my opinion that probably if the promos on television are somewhat to build the match, build heat, and make the confrontation more uh, something that the fans get invested, unlike what is happening on the show, that could probably be a lot more beneficial. I can understand that you have a show, you have to make sure that you know people watch that show and stuff like that. But you know it if it hurts the product in some shape or form, or it hurts your character, but then it isn't a good thing, I guess.
But quickly get into the highlights here. Like you said, the match was really good, and they went to a very slow pace. Like this is your basic Adam Cole match. It starts very slow, and then we get the whole spot. Like you cannot call it a sport thing. Like Adam Cole is not a sport wrestler. He's a very like he starts with a slow pace, and then you could go into the PWG mode, whatever you want to call it. Like we saw the same thing here. Like there was one sequence where they were exchanging big moves, like uh what Silver was going for a suplex attempt. Cole turns into a brain buster, a bunch of super kicks. We saw the Bucks getting involved at one point. They did the super kiss spot outside, and we see Matt Jackson was having his coffee. Nothing, no surprise here. As we get to the finish, like the Bucks were trying to get involved again, but here comes the Dark Order, some shenanigans going outside, and Silver was distracted with this thing that was going on in the outside. So Adam Cole decided to go for a low blow, but Silver had it scouted, and Silver with a low blow of his own went for a roll up of some sorts, and this was a really great near fall, and crowd went to a holy shit chant. So at the end, there was Adam Cole. I think he was going for a Panama sunrise, but Silver countered it. But at the end, Cole hit the boom, the last shot knee strike for the win, and that was what got Adam Cole the victory here. And that's how Rampage went off the air. And yeah, man, that was your whole review for Rampage.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we got Dynamite and Rampage next week. It is a go home edition, as it's the final week before we get into Full Gear. By the way, they have announced some big matches, like we talked about Dax Harwood versus Park. They also announced Bryan Danielson versus Rocky Romero. I'm very much looking forward to that.
Yes, same, yeah.
And little backstory here, I'm going to give it here. I think they could go into a story where there is history between Rocky Romero and Bryan Danielson, because if I'm not wrong, both these two guys were the first students or trainees in the original LA dojo, for New Japan Pro Wrestling. These two were their first students or first batch, you could say. Like we also had, I think, Samoa Joe, Bryan Danielson, so Rocky Romero, TJP, and even Shinsuke Nakamura at one point. So that's a little backstory for you. But yeah, looking forward to that match and the entirety of Full Gear weekend.
Great. And right now, if you're a pro wrestling fan, or you can say specifically fan of AEW promotion, you are looking forward to watching almost every match of Bryan Danielson, because it bell to bell is fucking amazing, and he is such a great competitor. For me it is unmissable. So I would very much be looking forward to watching this match with Rocky Romero. Great.
There's a reason. There's a reason why everyone wants him to be in the top 10 wrestlers for 2021.
Yes.
There you go, man. Should be a good match with Rocky Romero. And before we go, where can you guys find you?
Guys, you can connect with me on Twitter and Instagram at Abimaniac, and you can also connect with me on Facebook and LinkedIn as well.
You can find Slamhub Wrestling on Twitter at SlamhubW, Instagram at Slamhub Wrestling. You can catch this review on Anchor and Spotify as well. This was the AEW Rampage review, and I'll see you guys next time.